What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today is a back and biceps day. I really want to work my back this year. I really want to get it wide. I want to increase the V shape, and I want to prove the quality of the details, the depth, the back thickness. Simply everything that has to do with the back I want to improve, and I will show improvements, because we are only doing proven exercises, and mostly classic ones such as this one, the V-bar pull down. Now this one is absolutely amazing for the stretch in the lats, so very important is that you go all the way up until you feel the stretch in the sides of your back, which are your lats. And when you go down, you want to contract the back and really feel the blood pumping, filling up the muscles. That's what you want to feel. After you're done with the set, you want to feel your back being pumped. If you don't, you're not contracting hard enough. I always say that the stretch is very important, as you can see right here. Fully extended arms, but also the contraction is vital for back development, especially the thickness. And then it is time for the T-bar row. Now this is a machine, and this one is actually, it feels much heavier than the barbell itself. I'm not sure why that is. Perhaps because it's more difficult to cheat on this one. You're already standing at an angle, as you can see. But what I want you to closely look at is that you have to go down all the way with the weight, with your arms. Just like the V-bar pull down, you want to stretch those lats out. The more you can stretch your back, the more the contraction will occur in your back, and the more hypertrophy will occur as well. So that's why this exercise is amazing, because you can get an amazing stretch here. You want to be parallel to the floor, but because I'm at an angle, I won't be completely parallel, but I will be parallel to how I'm standing. As you can see right here, I make sure that I stretch the back, and when I go upwards, I try to keep my back arched to contract the lower back, which makes this exercise very challenging but very rewarding.
Het blijft ook bruin, hè?
Ja. Oei.
And as you can see, I'm not going that heavy on this exercise. This is only 60 kilos. I'm not sure how much weight it actually is, because the machine also weighs something, but it just feels heavy. And you do not want to force the weight on this exercise. You don't want to hurt your lower back. All you're simply looking for is the perfect stretch and the ability to contract. If you can't, simply lower the weight and your back will thank you in terms of giving you an amazing V shape. Let's do it. As you notice, I'm doing quite a few rowing exercises, but normally that is purely for back thickness, at least mostly for back thickness, and pull downs are for back width. But I try to make the rows also for the width, and that's possible by actually stretching the back, stretching the lats, as I keep telling you guys. I see a lot of guys do this exercise by simply staying put, staying in place, and not really moving forward with the upper body to stretch the lats. Just like Kane is doing right here, you want to stretch the back, because when you do that, you will work the back width. If you don't stretch it, you will only work the back thickness.
Het is wel leuk als je daar een beetje bijhoudt. Dan blijft het schutje. Ja, ik heb nog wat erger. in ieder geval geen cafeïne in.
Nee?
Nee, stond er niet op.
Had hij wel de...
And right here I'm going to do the last set of this exercise, and that is actually paused rep squeezing. So as I am focusing on the stretch on a lot of the sets, I do want to make sure that I don't neglect the contraction. So sometimes I like to add in paused reps and simply contract the back very hard. And on this exercise specifically is the lower back that you will feel contracting the most. And that's what this exercise is for. It's for building the lower back, getting more thickness down in that area, which I need because on stage shows are won from the back.
Turbo setje.
Now this is one of the best combinations, in my opinion, between a pull down and a row, because it really feels like, for example, when you're doing a bent over row with the underhand grip, it feels totally different than a regular grip, and this is the same story. A regular leg pull down is an entirely different exercise than the underhand pull down. Here you actually feel the lower back contract as well. You're able to contract much deeper, and you can simply focus on the muscles in your back more. Usually with a lat pull down you focus more on moving the weight, just like a bench press. You can't really focus on actually contracting the individual muscles. On the bench press it's, for example, very difficult to really contract your pecs, your chest, and on a lat pull down, in my opinion, that is the same case. But this version, the underhand pull down, just allows you to dig into that mind-muscle connection much more and be able to contract all those back muscles.
Dat wil ik echt niet uitkrijgen.
Soms gaat het gewoon echt niet, hè?
Oh, in de knoop zitten.
Eerst even een double bicep. Dat is keihard licht. Fucking hell.
So after hitting some poses to get the blood flowing even more, we're doing the underhand lat pull down once more. But as you can see, I did not increase the weight by that much. When an exercise is about contracting the muscle, you don't want to overdo it on the weight. Of course, lifting as heavy as you can is nice, but it won't always give you the same results. When you want to focus on, for example, getting details in your back, getting the thickness, the 3D effect, the roundness, then you got to be able to contract the muscle that you're working. Now this exercise is very interesting. I have not done this for a good while because my rear delts are actually quite overdeveloped. At least they were for a good while. When I did a side chest, you could really see basically it bulging outwards, and it made the chest and the triceps actually look smaller because it was overdeveloped. But now I'm only sometimes including some rear delt work into my back workouts, but I recommend you guys to do it every single time when you do back. After doing 4 exercises for the back, you hit the rear delts. But what I'm doing here is I'm also including the traps because I want to work on the trap thickness, which has gone up quite a lot already, but it can improve that much more. Now there are quite a lot of people who have shoulder problems when they do a bench press or dumbbell flies or any military press or anything chest or shoulder press related, and that is because sometimes the front delt overpowers the rear delt and it pulls the joint out of place. The front delt pulls harder on the rear delt, and that causes a disbalance and causes a possibility for injury.
Ja. Al die zooi moet weer aangevuld worden.
And now we will get started on working the biceps, starting out with the most basic exercise of them all. The good old school barbell curl, and it's a straight barbell. You can contract your biceps amazingly using this exercise, using this type of barbell. And there are two types of barbells that you can use to do these curls. You've got this straight one, but you've also got an easy curl bar. It's curved to make it easier on the wrists. But the thing is, you want to have your wrists in this position because then your biceps are under a greater amount of tension. And the more tension you can get in a muscle, the more it will respond to growth. So you don't always want to rely on the easy curl bar. You actually want to do the barbell curls that I'm doing right here most often. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger himself did as well. He did very heavy weights on this barbell. Reportedly 120 kilos or 275 pounds. I'm not sure, it's a rumor, like a lot of Golden Era stories, but still, if you look at his biceps, you would believe it. So what we're doing right here is actually going quite slow on the negative. One of the core principles for building muscle is time under tension. And a lot of people force these curls upwards, using the shoulder, using the back, even the front delts, just other muscles. When you do slow negatives, you really utilize purely the biceps, and this, as I said, will increase the tension, the time under tension, and the more you can make use of this, the more growth will occur.
Lightweight.
So the bicep that I'm using right here is actually the one where I had a tendonitis problem in the distal bicep tendon, which is between the forearm and the bicep, which I actually fixed for 90% basically, but I'm still not going down 100% with the weight, as in extending the arm, because that'll put my tendon at risk. Because in a stretched position, when weight is forced upon it, it could get back into injury if I force it too much. So that's why I'm looking out for it a little bit. And I'm going to make a video, which I told you before, about how to deal with certain tendon pains. And there are remedies for this. One of them is, of course, rest. But many more factors play a role which make your recovery a lot faster. For me, that was very convenient because I don't want to take too much time off from the gym. Anyway, moving on to cable curls, and the benefit of this exercise is the constant tension on the biceps, especially when you go upwards. The tension simply increases. The cable keeps pulling on your biceps, and the contraction is amazing. Again, this is a straight barbell. There are also these cable attachments that has a curve in it, but you don't want to use that one. You want to use a straight barbell, the straight bars, as much as you can to maximize the tension in the biceps. So remember that when you will train biceps next. But of course, easy curl bars have their place for close grip curls, wide grip curls, but still the basics, the straight bars, will always work. And this was the video for today, guys. Showed you some classic back exercises and how I like to do them for maximum back growth. You will see my back improve this year among many other muscle groups. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and ask your questions below because I will be doing a Q&A very soon again. And I don't want you to forget to stay golden. After you're done with the set, you want to feel your back being pumped. If you don't, you're not contracting hard enough. I always say that the stretch is very important, as you can see right here. Fully extended arms, but also the contraction is vital for back development, especially the thickness. And then it is time for the T-bar row. Now this is a machine, is absolutely amazing for the stretch in the lats. So very important is that you go all the way up until you feel the stretch in the sides of your back, which are your lats. And when you go down, you want to contract the back and really feel the blood pumping, filling up the muscles. That's what you want to feel after. What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today is a back and biceps day. I really want to work my back this year. I really want to get it wide. I want to increase the... And this one is actually, it feels much heavier than the barbell itself. I'm not sure why that is. Perhaps because it's more difficult to cheat on this one. You're already standing at an angle, as you can see. But what I want you to closely look at is that you have to go down all the way with the weight, with your arms. Just like the V-bar pull down, you want to V-shape, and I want to prove the quality of the details, the depth, the back thickness. Simply everything that has to do with the back, I want to improve, and I will show improvements, because we are only doing proven exercises, and mostly classic ones, such as this one, the V-bar pull down. Now this one